What's up? What's up? Alright, let's drop that. Like that. Okay. What's up? How's it going? Nope, 5 by 5. Nope, might as well just do 3 by 3 and be happy. Excuse me. Sure hope that's 300 dpi. Okay, it is. Good. Turn the mic. We'll turn this down. There we go. Oh. What's up, Skip? How you doing? Ugh. I am exhausted. Oh, really? Nice. That's great. Yeah, no, I'm super tired. It was a pretty long weekend. You know? But tomorrow's comic. I don't know how far it sits, but oh, this is that looks great. Like it. Hey, Miss 70.
The Ninja Empire is supreme, dominant, and unstoppable. Our ninja spirit is fueled by fire and driven by razor-sharp determination. When we take on a mission, we must succeed or die. Our style is unique and deadly, and no one wants to suffer the wrath of the Ninja Empire.
What's up, Don? Thank you so very much for that sub. Coming in strong with 9 months. Can we get some hype in the chat? Even though I know you guys are a little thin so far because we just started, but please, let's go ahead and get some hype for Don up in here. Where's my hype button? What? Thank you, Miss Ebony. So, Miss Ebony, you'll be the first to know. I'm gonna tell everyone tomorrow. Apparently, there was a problem with the sticker manufacturer, so that's coming in late. That's why you guys haven't got yours yet. So there'll be two. You'll get last month's sticker and this month's sticker at the same time. So not really much I could do about that. I was kind of bummed, but they're normally pretty good, so we'll just have to deal with it this month. How's Ocean City? Ocean City's this weekend. I went to Busch Gardens this weekend. Yep.
I love this.
Huh?
I love
Yeah.
Lord Parker said they're on their way.
Okay.
I ate something.
Okay. Are you leaving? Or are you going to...
No, I planned on staying up to let him in.
Okay.
And then I'll be leaving.
Okay.
And it's a little past my bedtime.
Okay.
Not my sleep time, just my bedtime.
Oh, okay. Got it. Busch Gardens was great. It was nice. It was great. Got to see a new show called Celtic Fire, which was beyond amazing. I loved every second. And after watching it, I was sad that I hadn't watched it before. Collection right now. Yep, I can understand that. I'm trying to knock off some cobwebs here. Like I said, I couldn't leave you guys again even though I was really like, oh, today might end up being we're not streaming today, but since we had too many of those due to illness, I figured it would be best not to do that. So, try and knock some of these I'm sleepy cobwebs off. Get to drawing, right? We're gonna make this work no matter what. Hooah! Could do a just chatting stream. We could. I mean, I can scribble. That's not gonna be. I don't know if anything of significance is gonna happen here. You know what I mean? But it's worth a try. And how's your foot? It's good. It's good now. I mean, I'm just getting to like not walking, but like running on it. So some light jogs for a short amount of time, just to kind of make sure that I can actually do it. And then I started getting on the bike, which was nice. And so, you know, there's been a little bit more activity with feet. Hopefully be able to do some leg workouts soon. So it's getting better, which is great. Like, that's the main thing, is getting great. Figure out what was wrong. Oh, I sprained my ankle. I knew I sprained my ankle. Emotes, man, don't put me on the spot like that. Huh? Who what?
Don't put me on the spot like that.
Oh, Skip told me to draw some emotes, and I told him not to put me on the spot like that.
I think you should do the emotes too.
Well, that's nice.
Team Skip.
That's so not gonna happen today.
That's okay, I understand. Still Team Skip.
What you need to team Skip is tell him to skip himself over to streaming himself so we can support him.
Okay, but right now, Skip is supporting us.
It's true.
Thank you for your continued support, Skip. We appreciate you.
Is that the bow staff is the best weapon? See, I'm making a fantasy weapon. Like, I have the weapon. Like, I've got all that. I'm gonna draw it up here because it's actually for a character that I'm working on, or not working on, but that I have. And so the fact that I get to make this weapon, because he didn't say it had to be real, right? But if it was real and I could have that, it would definitely be my weapon. It would be my weapon of choice. On the alt account? Oh, well, see, I don't even. Well, I was driving home, so that wouldn't have helped. I wouldn't have been able to help you there anyway. But I don't know. I don't get any updates on that, so I don't know when to come and support you there. I'm just saying. And soon, because I know it's in January. That's what I'm feeling. In January, I'm going to be kicking it up too, so I need to know the best place to do that. I got to find a time to do it, but I know that artwork will happen. I don't know if I can stream it though. That's the big problem. I didn't know I was gonna, oh, okay. Branding focus and comics, nice. Okay, makes sense. Bye. Oh, Skip said thank you, by the way.
What?
Skip said thank you, by the way. Everybody. Oh, okay. All right, Don. I'm sorry. Yeah, we just hurt my foot. That's all. Hurt my foot playing with the kids. Then when everything was said and done, that's when I hurt myself. It was rather funny. I mean, it's sad, but funny nonetheless. Interesting. So I do love doing these kind of sketchy things. Oops. Because I don't really know what I'm doing, but sometimes some interesting things come out. I just really need to send out an invoice. Oh, yeah. We definitely want to make sure we get that. But, what? Oh, excuse me. I have to give the keys. I'm sorry. I have to give the keys to the boss. Hold on. Okay, back. Yeah, anyway. Invoice, yeah. I have a project that that I'm finishing that will require that as well. Don, you are next on the docket. So your Christmas stuff is going to be done in like 2 days. So 2-3 days. Work is still a thing. Work is still trying to beat me, but like 2-3 days, something like that, you'll have your stuff will be done. Here, and then we'll probably something like that. So Skip, man, we need to plan for you to come down sometime next year. Oh, both of them. Unless you don't want me to, that is. But yeah, I was gonna have both of them done. I should have both of them in the mail, or able to be in the mail by the end of the week. But yeah, we definitely need to make sure we can make that happen. Both sounds great. Okay. This is driving me crazy. What is that? All right, I think one thing I'm gonna have to do for you guys is start designing. We got to do some profiles for you guys. Shield artboard. Oh yeah, we just need to do that. I mean, to be honest, then we come together and just do it. Maybe this Friday. I'll be like, hey, I'm streaming on. I'll stream on the thing if you guys want to come and join. That way we can have that done. But I'm starting to think that all my loyal subjects, my loyal ninjas, need profiles. And we can do these profiles here, right? Do something like this. What do you think? Comics I can grind on? Nice. Sorry, Spider-Man. Okay. Nice. Alright, and I think this needs to come out further, so we need to bring that up. Like so. That's there. That means that these need to come out too. See, it wouldn't do that. It wouldn't do that. It would do that. We'd have that, right? Then, okay, so it wouldn't come out here. That's my problem. All right. Okay. Told you, sleepy. Like, why is this not working? It's like, oh, okay, got it. Now I got it. I need to vector all my impromptu logos at some point too. Oof. Oof. Okay. There. I think I need to actually do the same thing. I want to actually blow up my thumbnails so that I can have them and then just throw them on the board. That's what I'm looking at doing. I don't have a problem with light boxing. So loud. Ah. Okay. I think that's looks like this is who our ninja is gonna be. What's funny is I never put any weapons on them, ever, for these stickers. All right, but I think because I don't want to overdo it. I know I have a friend out in Canada, and they told me like 2 days ago it was negative 20 degrees Celsius. I was like, that's just not nice and shouldn't happen. Not nice and should not happen. I'm just getting rain. Eh. So I've decided to only do one poster for 2023. That's it. So I plan on trying to establish my own like exclusive poster. Right? Where it's just like, yeah, well, if you didn't get it here, there are no more. All gone. And then maybe a year or so actually do an exclusive, right? Have the yearly exclusive and then go, there's only 100 of these prints. Because people don't buy prints from me like that, right? Maybe it's because like my original art isn't really that expensive, right? I know that some people are like, oh, I mean, it's a lot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not, but you know, when you're like, oh, when you're on a budget and you're trying to get as much as you can, I understand that, you know, all work is expensive. But in the grand scheme of things, if you know, like if you start talking to people, you know that like mine's relatively cheap as far as stuff goes, right? So people don't buy prints from me because they're like, I can get an original piece. Well, why would I get a print? So I'm thinking about trying to make some exclusivity in my life. Where would I put these? Here and here. Yes. What's up?
Stopping by to say hello.
What's up, man?
Hi, stream.
No,
He's like, nope.
no. How do I not be? Hello.
Hello. How goes the prep?
I'm basically ready. I just have to
Oh,
pick
yeah?
up some stuff from JR tomorrow, but
Okay.
good to go.
Oh, if you left the door open and Wonder's coming up, you were asking for problems.
Yeah, we brought snow as well, so he's
Oh,
downstairs.
then Tyler must be happy.
Yeah, Tyler's like, oh, he's not as big as I was expecting him to be.
He's not-
he's girthy.
He's not that fat.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I have to say, one of the best things about not doing what you guys do is that it's like a one-time buy and I'm good. You know, I'm just like, oh yeah, I ordered some comics.
Done.
Until they're sold, I'm good. I don't need to make anything else.
For me especially, I have basically make stuff for every show.
Oh gosh, that's just. Wait, who is that? That's single digit. He was like that's single digit.
Who's asking?
That was Miss Ebony.
Miss Evan, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't miss those days.
Of having to make stuff.
I remember making stuff like all the time. And it was just, oh, I need to make some art. Like, let me get some stuff that I can stuff it. Now it's just like, so the beginning of next year, right? Because I plan on, hopefully, after Ocean City, whatever's left, I'm going to have a flash sale, right? And try and just try and
Just
liquidate
get rid of stuff.
everything. Because that's going to force me to make new stuff, right? If I don't have anything, I'm like, oh. But so that first month, I will be in the same hell that you guys are,
Yeah.
right? But then it's just like, Yay!
For me, I think the next show I have after Ocean City is Blurred Con,
Oh wow.
and I'm thinking it's probably gonna be my last show for a while.
Really?
For a little while.
I mean, I would really just have prop stuff up there. To be honest, I mean, I know maybe it's not what you really want to do, but the cosplay stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, because
He doesn't like money.
apparently not, because as cosplay's got more predominant in
Popular,
all
yeah.
of these because they're not comic shows anymore, right?
They're just
co-
shows.
They're just
Culture.
they're cosplay shows
Yeah.
where there are comics or anime available.
Yeah.
Right? And so all these people are really looking for really cool props and stuff like that. And you make really high quality stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I've in the past had to turn down people who, for example, if someone comes to me and says I want a prop and they want something that's like, look, you can just find that in a store.
Right.
Like I'll say, like, it has to be something unique.
You're a
like,
good person though. Because other people would just be like, sure, I will make that kunai for you. And it's like $70 because I had to make it and I had to model it and whatever, right?
Some
People
If,
want the
um,
handmade
Yeah,
stuff.
if I'm modeling it, it's gonna be way more.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying, instead of going, why don't you just go online, go to Amazon,
Yeah.
pay for the Naruto $20 one and be
Exactly.
happy.
Just paint it yourself. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Some people don't want to do that. Some people would rather give money to artists.
Well, that's finish. Oh wait, what? Didn't recognize. Oh, said you had a big head.
I do. I do.
Or-
Bigger when I had hair too.
She said you're shirking your mod duties.
Not
but
in person.
yeah, I know.
That's right. I'm here in person. Where are you at?
Oh, and Skip says hi to you.
Oh, hello. Hiding in the corner.
But even when we first pushed you into them, like that's where your money is going to be,
Yeah.
right? But you have
And
you have a real
usually-
job now.
That's usually where I make money at shows is through conventions, because the
Right.
stuff that I
Commissions.
have are commissions, but the stuff that I have is usually way too high priced for
Right.
a lot of people. Like I
Right.
may make 3 or 4 sales in a show here and there.
At least for the
depending.
shows that you're going to.
Yeah.
People aren't walking around with that kind of money to
You
drop.
need to go to like Design Con.
That's the thing, though.
Moneymaker.
Even with something like Design Con, I
Okay.
have to travel. And
Yeah.
Fair.
traveling with my stuff that's super fragile, I'm not putting that on an airplane or driving 3 weeks to like
Ew.
LA.
Ew.
It's like 36 hours. Not
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Ew.
It's only a 36
Yeah,
hours.
having
no.
to travel
Ew,
and stuff
no.
is
But I
not
mean,
fun.
there's gotta be a show, because I know like David
New York
Silva.
Toy Fair or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Because like David Silva, he didn't do, like he found like model kits when he was making the model kits. He was like, I went to conventions, I don't sell a thing. Then he found a show that they're like, well, mostly what they do is model kits, right? Like their mindset is for money. He's like,
Supermarkets.
I sold so much money.
Yep.
You know, he's like, I sold so many things. And he's like, that's what my show is. I don't need to go to New York Comic Con. I don't need to go to Comic Con in San
One
Diego.
show.
I'm gonna do this show
Yeah.
and this show only, until he had toys.
And then you can expand from that.
You can go to other
Right.
shows
Go to other
where
shows.
people will buy stuff.
Right. Oh wait. What are we talking? I don't really want to do it. Just I don't. I'm sorry. I can't. They're here. It's easy. Yeah. Hello. I love you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
It's real easy to draw and chat to a TV screen or a computer screen, but when someone's here, I mean, come on. Why are you calling me out today, Skip? Like, what did I do something to
Skip is on
you?
a different level today.
That's twice today he's called me out.
Jesus.
But there has to be one, especially now, like 3D printing being
Right.
on the
Well,
rise. There
there's
has to be.
The biggest, I think, probably the biggest 3D printer show is actually held in Baltimore.
Really?
Yeah, where almost every major 3D printing, but a lot of these, it's more for people that do tinkering. Where it's like, I made a mod to this printer, I did this to this printer.
Oh,
Where
okay.
companies go there to
Okay.
unveil new printers, but they also have a lot of people that do what I do, who have printers and then they create art for it, whether it be statues, cosplay props,
Okay.
things like that. So I was actually talking to Tom Davis about it and we were going to do the show in 2020, and then that happened.
That happened. Yeah. I don't live 5 minutes away. That's fair. But no, I mean, I have a friend of mine has like a smaller 3D thing, and he gets things off of Thingiverse and just he goes to town.
There's gonna be about 4 or 5 of those people at Ocean City.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, there was one at Richmond, and I almost picked it up. I really did. It was a King. Oh, was it King Thor, King Loki? I don't know. It was King Thor. Okay. Big dude. It was an amazing model that someone else did.
And then they paid for it. And probably a Patreon or something like that.
And he had it, and he printed it out, and I was like, and it was. I was like, how much is it? And he's like, well, the big one's 40. I'm like, it's only $40. And I'm like,
if you're selling for 40, they definitely didn't.
No, of course not. I was like, you didn't do anything to this. You just.
Did they paint it or anything like that? Yeah, it was just a raw print.
Just whatever color he decided.
Probably didn't do any cleanup or anything.
Not like you. Not like you. But there was some that were not. You could still see all the. I'm like, you didn't even like get rid of the fuzzies on this. You just printed and left. I'm like,
look, if you're gonna do stuff like that, at least take a minute. Because that's one of the big reasons I don't want to do shows is because there's a lot of guys like that.
Yeah.
And that
devalues what people think of when
course.
they see stuff.
Drives me up the wall.
Why I didn't buy it? I really didn't, because I was just like, ooh, we have free girls in your city.
Somebody
ooh.
Moderator, get to it.
I know. Come on, mod in person. Come on, mod in person.
You can't mod from your phone.
But no, because I swear I saw it. I was like, this model looks so good. I would put this 3D model up on my shelf. Like, it looks great. And I looked at all this. I'm like, these are completely different styles. I'm like, you didn't do any of this.
Any of it.
You didn't do any of this. And while I want it, I'm not gonna. I'm just like, I'm not gonna do it.
It's become a big thing in conventions where guys just, I'm gonna get a printer or 5 because they're cheap enough now where you can buy like 7 to 10 printers for under $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and just have a room like this, set up all your printers. Patreon, Thingiverse, Codes 3D. There's a ton of sites like Pinshape out there where you can just go download any of those like that.
Right.
Print them out. Or from Patreon, you paid for it, it's yours, you can do whatever you want with it, and that's all they do. They're now set up at conventions.
Most of the Patreons is not, you can't sell them. People don't care.
Yeah, but it's like, it's frustrating for people like us who is like, I created these models and I now have to argue with people at shows who question how much my stuff costs.
Right.
When I'm like, for one, I made the model. 2, I cleaned it up. I painted it by hand. This is a one-of-one.
See, don't pay attention for a minute. And Skip and apparently Skip and Miss Ebony ganged up on me in the battle royale.
Oh, nice. It looks like Skip ended up winning.
Skip won, yeah. It was like,
was rigged.
Just rigged. It's just everything's so bad, so bad. But I mean, honestly, I was like, I think because I know that they're a lot cheaper now, and I'm like, there are certain things where I'm like, I need basic things. Like I want a display sign for my sketch cards.
Stuff like that, I would recommend. Yeah, get yourself like a $200-$300 printer.
Right.
Put it here.
Right.
And just print out simple stuff.
Because I'm not trying to do that. I ain't got time for all that. But I was like, oh, it would be really cool. It'd be really cool if I need to finish my Ninja Empire sketch cards. And go, if I could display them so they're actually on display versus.
How are you thinking of displaying them?
Huh?
How are you thinking of displaying them?
So I mean to actually have them up on the table in almost like a business card holder with a back.
Dollar Tree has some really nice little display frames right now. They have like a cute little base and a clear.
Sure.
And a clear holder holds like a 4x6, but you can have it floating in the clear. I bought 2 today because they're really cute. I'll send you a photo.
Please.
They're for $1.
Yeah, please, because I'm going further and further into trying to make a display more, and stuff like that. I realized I'm like, well, this box is because I have these boxes, and it's great for the loose paper, like the loose images and stuff. I'm like, that's really cool, but the sketch cards are too small.
Yeah.
And so they get lost. And I'm like, but if I could showcase these that they're here, I could still use the mini box. but then go, oh yeah, there's more in there. You like these? There's more over there. So, just trying to.
Yeah, I'll send you a photo when I get home.
And it's like just trying to figure out
Also,
what.
if you get a printer, probably guarantee you Crystal will probably put it more to use for stuff around the house than
Me.
You'd be surprised how much just random stuff you can print that you can use around the house just to either organize or help with things like
Yeah.
that, you know.
That's cool. I mean, I don't know. It was just this. And he's like, I'm printing this off. Took
Your little
an
fidget
hour.
toy.
Took an hour, and I was just like, this is amazing. This is everything that I need. Right? I'm like, this is perfect. And he's like, oh yeah, just hold it. And we sat there and we were talking about something. He's like, oh, excuse me. He goes over there and just goes, see, glue. Puts 4 little dots of glue, done. And I'm like, life. Yeah, I was like, easy.
I'm working too hard.
You are working too hard. And that's one thing that I'm starting to realize by going to these conventions and getting older. Is I'm like,
That's why I'm cutting
It's
back.
a
working
lot of
too
work.
hard. Well, it's a lot of work, but most people don't appreciate what you're doing. And so that's why when I'm doing
The only folks who really appreciate how much work I put into it are other artists.
right. But I mean, so, you know, these, right? These are my 10-minute drawings. They're 15 because I come back in and I clean it up. I know, it's 15, right?
Gary.
I know. Well, I tell them, I'm like, it's 10 minutes. Like, it'll be done in 10, but if you want it to look nice, it's going to take an extra 5 minutes to finish up.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm just like, why am I spending 3 hours at a convention trying to be like, hey, let me get you a full figure, you know, full color, just let's
you
make
can
this
just
really.
knock these
when I
out.
can just knock these out and people will be happy,
Yeah.
right? Because when I was at other cons, it's like my base is normally $40. I'm like, it's $40. It's an original. It doesn't look bad. There you go, $40. And they're like, oh, okay. Went to Comic-Con, it was like 60, and people are like,
Yep.
Yeah.
money. Because they're like, it's an original, right? And they're like, oh, I can do that.
I guess
for
the
a-
Comic-Con crowd also understands.
Yeah, they also, well, they come with money. You don't go to San Diego
Yeah.
without money.
Yeah.
You just don't. And so you're like, hey, it's 60, and then you're like, oh, can I commission you? And they're like, yeah, well, how much is that? I'm like, it's still 60. And then I just make a ton of commissions because they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. Oh, are you good? Can I come back tomorrow? Will that be enough time? I'm like,
Come back in 20
because
minutes.
well, here's the thing. I don't tell them how long
it takes. Gotcha.
Yeah.
right? These guys know. The people who watch my channel, my YouTube channel, they know. But for the most part, nobody knows that it takes. You know, I have figured out a formula that takes me no longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And that was me going. I hate fighting. I hate fighting, trying to make money. Right? Like wishing that I can make some money.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, your prices are too high." I'm like, "Wow, this guy's charging $1,200, and you're telling me my prices are too high?"
I've
Raising
heard that.
all my
I've heard
prices
that
next year.
every single show I have been to, at least 1 or 2 people tells me my prices are too high.
Oh, of course.
At least 1 or 2.
So
Oh,
you
wait.
can send me 3 Venoms for $60, right?
Of course. It's like, that's why I separated my. Oh, see, I love how Skip he intervenes. He goes, that's why I separated my alt account commissions into low and high res. That's really smart. If digital stuff, you're like, you want to pay little money, you get the low res. That's smart.
Yeah.
The
It's
low
gotta be
res are
different
easier
tiers.
to make, but if you want to put me through the head of making a print res, you got to pay extra. That's smart. Smart. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm actually going, like, I'm not doing prints. I'm doing 1 print from here on out. Like 2023, it's this print. That is
okay.
it.
And it's just for the
The
whole
whole year. This is it. But in 2024, if I have any left, I'm throwing it in the trash.
I think you put it as kind of like a grab bag
Well,
thing.
maybe I could do that, but I don't have any.
Number them.
I won't know.
Oh.
Right, like I'm at this point. I'm not going.
Well, you can
I'm
do
making.
it batch 1 of whatever.
I could.
Batch 1, number 1 out of 100, and then batch 2, you start at 100
Oh,
And
and
then-
then 100. So batch 2 is 101.
to
200. Okay.
Yeah.
you
That
do
way they're numbered, they're still limited, they're
Okay.
just
Okay.
doing batches.
I could do that. That's really smart.
I know a
There
couple.
you go.
I know a couple folks that do like traditional stuff, sell their originals, and then do limited prints each year.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they started numbering them, they raised their prices, and people didn't even flinch because they're limited edition.
Right.
The pin community, people spend like $80-$90 for a tiny little limited edition enamel pin.
Wow.
So I'm like,
See, yeah, people keep telling me.
add that number on.
People keep telling me that I need to do pins, and I'm like, I don't know, but I started doing what Skip's doing in his alt account, and I went somewhere else, and there's like all of these stickers. I would make prints. I think I have a picture here. I do.
Stickers.
Toss.
Well, as you can see, I was not here.
Oh, it's the silk.
Mm,
This is Silk the Shocker, right?
Just shocking.
The Shocker. Okay. Every time I see it, I always think of Silk the Shocker.
No. I need to make animated GIF commission. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you make big money there. But people are like, you make these pens, every one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
that kind of stuff on limited edition enamel pins is what sells for hundreds.
Are you able to sell stuff like this at shows now?
Depends on the shop.
Okay.
Some shows you actually have to censor it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta put up you can't.
Like a bar,
You
or
can't
just
have
censor
them.
the actual display.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then some shows will make you actually require to look at people's ID.
Yeah.
It
So,
really depends on the show.
but this is where I don't know where to go for pens. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are good though.
Yeah, they're great.
Well, thank you. But it's like it's too. I have to quit my job
Yeah.
to do this. Is what I've realized.
I know.
Because there's so much. I want to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. I need to go here. And I'm like, oh wait, no, you have to go and teach because that's what pays the mortgage.
It's your 9 to 5.
It's like that's
your
what
9
pays
to
the
5.
mortgage. And it's like, oh, that's right. Because it's fun. Like I go to Patreon, right? I have a couple patrons. I don't really push it. I plan on changing that. I plan on annoying the fire out of everyone who follows me on anything.
I mean, that's
Next
what
year.
most people do anyway.
You have to.
mention
Well, you
it.
have to because no one will know.
Yeah.
Nobody sees only 10% of your followers ever see your stuff
Right.
at any given time. So you're
So, I was like, that makes sense. It's on me. Like, I knew that. I'm like, it's on me, and I'm not putting enough out there.
Yeah.
I get that. Not a problem. Next year,
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, hey, come here. And I plan on I have a lot of tiers, but I want to simplify it, and B, I want to stop posting on Patreon. I have a Discord channel that I used to use, and nobody's, it died.
Ninja Empire.
The Ninja Empire one, and it died, and so now I'm gonna go, okay, now this is just for patrons and anyone who was, already grandfathered in from before, but it's like, this is it. And so because posting on Patreon is a pain in the butt.
They don't make it easy.
It's a pain in the butt, and I don't
Really?
like.
I mean, I have a
No.
Patreon account. I've never posted
It's
anything.
not- it's
as a
that-
creator,
As a
they
creator.
don't make it easy.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not. Yeah, it's not hard. But if you were like, hey, I want to post a picture, then they're like, you need to put it in the header. I don't want it in the header. I want it in the body.
Yeah.
And now they have made it that you can post in the body, but you have to hit a specific type of enter, so the little camera box pops up on the side that you have to click to. It's not as user friendly as they think it would be.
Yeah,
You know?
there's a lot of
And so.
with Patreon.
Say I just post directly to my Patreon Discord and said, yeah, exactly, like that
Yeah.
makes sense, and that's what I want to do, and so
I'm thinking of doing a sticker club next year, and I don't ever want to go back to Patreon. I did Patreon for 2 years, and it was bane of my existence. Granted, a lot of that was on me. I did too much.
Yeah,
all
no,
at once.
you were.
I was going way too
you were
hard.
going ham.
I had a job, and I was doing conventions full time, so I was doing
Yeah,
way
you were
too
doing
much.
way too
I was
much.
And didn't you
tired.
want to initially do like a weekly thing and was like
No.
do
It was a monthly.
Yeah.
It was
No,
a
no,
monthly
when,
box.
before you did it, we were
I
talking
need
about
to-
weekly, and it's like
early
Well,
access
they were
and
updates.
Dropbox archives is also good. Okay.
I don't give my artwork to anybody. Any resolution. I got too many
Around certain
things.
Patreon.
People post that stuff on t-shirts and stuff all over the place. No, thank you. I already have enough issues. I can't do that.
also YouTube stuff. Probably change your password for YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Like
my
hers.
old college account got hacked into, and somebody's been posting their Twitch
their Twitch streams to her.
Oh,
YouTube.
nice.
And the videos are still, my old videos are still up there, and I don't know what email it's from. I can't
Oh,
get
wow.
into it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like one day I was just kind of scrolling through, and I'm like, I saw
know
like
that
I saw
name.
it like it said posted 6 hours ago, and I'm like, and I saw the name said Komodorokai, and I'm like, that's Robin's.
Oh.
I initially I was like, that's her DeviantArt account.
Mm.
So, and I didn't remember that she also had the YouTube. And I was like, do you have a YouTube called this? And she was like, yeah. So she comes upstairs and I'm like, someone just posted on here. And they posted like 4 or 5 videos.
Wow.
All at once.
And the only reason I recognize is because the profile picture,
Mm.
I'm like, it looked familiar to me.
Right.
So I was like, I think this is Robin. So she went and checked the account, and yeah, people have been, well, at least one person was posting their streams.
That's
But what they're posting is they're making these little, I forget what the technical name for it is where you take like wool and like a pin and you make these little like animals.
you
figurine.
crocheting.
It's not necessarily crocheting, but it's like they just kind of sit there and jab it with a pin until it like forms up, and you can make like animals and like teddy bears and dogs and whatnot.
Oh.
I've seen a couple of people sell that at conventions, but she was just making these little stuffed figurines, and I was just like, that's odd.
Interesting. Interesting.
So yeah, it seems like some people are having issues now with YouTube. So I changed
Yeah.
my password immediately after. I was like, nope, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah. Oh,
Dog's barking.
dogs are playing with each other a bit rough. I mean, I guess I can change it. It's just so freaking easy right now. But which I don't know. Like, I plan on doing a lot next year. Like, I told the stream Wednesday, whenever I streamed last time, Wednesday I think it was,
Yeah.
that I plan on, for the first time since I became a teacher, right? Because before that I was like, I'm gonna make money with art, and this is the first time since I was hired as a teacher to where I'm like, I'm gonna make money with my art.
Yeah.
And I've set a goal for myself for 2023, and that's where I got all these books, right? I plan on doing well now, because they coaxed me into it, 550.
It's just because for more suggestions.
Yeah, it's like 550 of these drawings, right? And I'm like, it's gonna allow me to not only have a lot more content to be hanging out, but also the idea of having something go up every single day again, because I was doing that with my 10-minute drawings, and it was like nobody was watching, like 0 people, like 2, 1, 0.
Yeah.
No one was really watching. But now it's still low. Sometimes it's low. Sometimes it gets high. It just depends on when people are paying attention.
And either that or just sometimes titles.
Right.
It's just,
Or who it was.
Yeah.
Like, because it's always a character. So it's like, hey, this is Black Panther. Like, I know Black Panther, and they'll
yeah,
click
I'll
on it.
click on it, yeah.
Right. But I do Tosin Adoye, who is a new character, brand new from Black Panther 3, and they're like,
I don't know who that is.
14 people. Like, I don't know who that is. Right.
That's
But
not T'Challa. I'm not clicking on
right. But then I have people who are like, I'm gonna do this now. Right? So I just got a message, and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm adding this to my thing. I'm like, okay, so people are getting it, people are seeing it. Like, fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and spam it. Like I said, I'm gonna put myself out there.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. My plan for next year when it comes to artists, to just basically cut out shows altogether and really just focus on my personal. Like, I've been wanting to do my own toy line forever, and I feel like this year I might as well just do it now. And just, even if I start with just one figure.
Yep. Articulated.
I was thinking of maybe starting with a statue first. But doing one that, I'm not just printing the whole thing at one, where I can still kind of assemble it together, and
Okay.
it just makes painting a lot easier. But
Yeah.
maybe start with that, and then if it takes
That's
off.
what McFarlane does. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they don't
Or
worry
did,
about articulations.
does. Well, sometimes, sometimes they have it, and other times they're like, we made a statue out
Yeah.
of toy material.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah. That's honestly, I still have to ask this person, because I asked for the files and stuff, and he gave me a number back. I need to ask him, because it was like $1,700. And I'm like,
It's actually not that bad.
but I was like, it's that. So you have all the files. I know you have to make the the mold and all that. I get that, but I'm like it said 50. So I'm like, are you gonna make 50 of these for this price?
Or just one prototype for that.
Right? Because I'm like, because if you're gonna make 50 of these for this price, and that's color, that was the full color version.
I'll take 100.
And I was like, because that like I have like that's what I have. I gotta ask him. I'm like, I'm not, I'm really
just so we're clear.
really curious
So we're clear.
because if it's $1,700 per piece.
I think that 1,700 is probably for the first one for the mold and everything. And
I'm telling you, it's not. There were two prices on there. I asked for gray and I asked for color because he asked about he's like, do you have the production art? And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And he showed me a picture. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got that. But I was just thinking about printing it in gray. And he was like, oh. And I was like, well, screw that. Tell me what the price would be for the color and what the price would be for gray. And he comes back. There were two prices on there. One was $1,700 flat for 50, and it said 50, $1,700. The other one said 50. It was like 889 or something like that.
That's insanely cheap.
Now it's
honestly,
insane.
for 50.
Now it's insanely in China.
This is true. Which you also run the risk of them saying, all right, cool, now you got your 50. We're going to print as many of these and sell them ourselves.
That's also very true. But, it's just like, it's
A panorama
every month. But I mean, I was like, I could, because my whole thing, like I think my biggest bucket list is to have Toyline, right? I want to have the main 6 players. Like if I could if I was able to have all 5 factions and the Black Dragon as an action figure, as a Mortal Kombat G.I. Joe classified action figure.
It would be cool if you did. Obviously starting off with just statues, but have it in a way where if you collect all the statues, you can put them next to each other and it creates a scene.
Yeah.
Like that would be cool.
That would be cool. We'll see. As soon as I can hammer down this number with this person, because they're like,
just start feeding them models.
well, that, but then I'm like, well, if that's the case, I'm like, hey, talk to everyone. Like, I've got these models. You've seen them. This $100, right? If it's like $100.
Yeah.
Because I don't know right now I don't know what it breaks down to, but shipping, because they're gonna ship it to me, then I'm gonna ship it to you, so it's like $100. But if it's like, hey, put these out here, my cost was, I got gray ones, it was like, I made this much, and it's like, oh, okay, so if I put 2,000 on there, let's just say, because we're going to do the ones in color, or vice versa, we'll be like, hey, we'll do the gray ones, and then once you hit a certain number, we'll unlock the gray one,
the color one. Like Kickstarter or some sort of crowdfunding.
And I was like, so if I can get that, and there's an interest, depending on the interest, then it's like, hey, here's another figure from last time, here's another figure from last, because this is what David said. David was like, start with statues. He's like, that's what I did. It's like I started with statues. Mm-hmm. Then I did model kits, which was pretty much a statue, but you had to put it together. And then once there was enough interest, I went to start making toys.
And at that point, you can then, everything is open. The door's open, basically.
Right.
You can do articulated figures. You can do the standard G.I. Joe action figure.
Right.
You can do all of that.
Right.
Point,
And so, I was like, I can do that. I just need a break.
See, for me, like, my personal taste has always been more with statues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as much as, the G.I. Joes and the stuff are cool, like, that scale and that size just never, because I didn't grow up playing with them as kids. So, like, it's just, for me, I'm like, that's more my speed.
Right.
Like, give me a cool bust or a cool statue thing.
Right. I mean, and that's to be honest, it's really cool. I like those, but I mean, I can move them. Like these ones, like Storm Shadow up there is my oh my goodness.
Like again, they look cool. I don't have that nostalgia for them. The only thing I have is like Transformers, and that's only because oh, they go from one thing to another.
Right, right.
That's the trick that draws me in.
Right. I mean, and what's stupid about it is they're all just standing there anyway. Like, put them on display, they're all just standing there anyway. It's not like, unless they fall down, which they have done.
It does happen.
But besides that, I'm just like, they're all just standing there, looking cool. So statues are one thing. I don't know. It's just, I want to be able to have, I want to have this. Not this one in particular,
Like
but
on the card.
I want to
and
have the
stuff
card.
like that.
I want to have a box. I want to have a box.
I don't know, there's
display.
definitely a novelty for stuff like that, and especially for collectors. Just having a statue or some sort of action figure on a card.
Model kits first, yeah. Yeah,
It does it for a lot of people, but for me, it's just.
I mean,
give me a statue.
See, the big thing is that I want to go to. Oh my goodness! Now I forgot what it's called. Is it InvestorCon? That's not
Investor. I was
Not
gonna say
invest-
they're just making cons for everything.
It's not InvestorCon. Oh my goodness! I just. What is it called? Mandela and I were gonna go to it.
Is he in chat?
No, he's not. Oh, it's hurting my. And the thing is, as soon as you're gone, I'll be like, it was this. Licensing Expo. Thank you. I want to go to that with my pitch Bible and go.
Wait, didn't you talk about that at San Diego?
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned that
Yeah.
at San Diego. Yeah.
And so they moved it. They moved it after my birthday, which was one of the biggest holdups because it was always on my birthday.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh wait, it's in June this year. It's like the first week, and it's also in the week. It's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's weird.
That's odd.
It's weird.
That's-
But I'm like, but it's in June, so it's after my birthday. I could actually go.
yeah.
And I would love to go there to. Hey,
Here's a production Bible.
look at what we've done. The comic's almost done. What's up, Vic? It's like comic's almost done. Or by then the comic better be done. It's like this is done. I've got this. I made this model. Look at how cool this thing looks. It's like
you have every base covered.
yep. It's like, look, it would really be cool if you guys took a chance
On this property.
property, right? Especially if they're looking at it like, I want to license this out to some toy company because I want to see it made. Like, I want to work this out. You are getting none rights. Like, I'm not giving you anything.
Are you interested in just licensing across the board, or are you like, I want to license more for a show, more for a comic book, for a game,
No.
just across the board?
Across the board.
Okay.
If there was a video game company out there and they overheard me talking about it, and
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
they're like, that seems really cool. Would you be willing to? Heck yeah, make my fighting game. Are you kidding? Heck yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep telling you this. At some point, once you're done with Ninja Empire, just take what you have and just build a tabletop RPG.
Oh no, you don't understand. That's in 2023.
Okay.
No, you don't understand.
Yes, give me a D20 system. I
The-
get to make my own character. I've got my character sheet. Just D&D the crap out of it.
Oh, come. But see, the thing is that I plan on taking that. Well, Dark Legacy,
Yeah.
right? So it has a system, has a D20. Tweak it the way I wanted it to.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what's happening with Ninja Empire.
Okay.
I have a card game ready to go to where you can play it face to face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. But then you get your character sheet. Here's a book, the book that comes with it. Here are the monsters that are in
Yeah,
here.
like the core
Here-
rule books,
here's-
stuff like that.
I
'Cause
mean-
that's where you can drop all these notes that you take for yourself, like world building notes that never make it into the
Yep.
comic. Just dump it in
Yep.
there,
You're like, oh, by the way,
so that it's not wasted time. Like you're still using
Yep.
that information.
Oh,
It's out there. Yeah.
this is going to get exploited hard.
NPC codes.
Right, like it's just going to be a thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going, nope, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to make this, and what I'm hoping is to go, I made this, here are all your characters, here's the world, you can do this, right? Make the money on Kickstarter from that to fund the card game that goes with it.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, like, to
Because
be...
as big as D&D is now, like a lot of people have gotten, especially again with lockdown happening, a
Yeah.
lot of people got into it.
Yep.
So this would be the perfect
Mix
time to do something
between
like that.
TRPG and the The card game for the combat system. So what I did before is that the combat system was actually the card game. The deck building aspect was the card game and the card mechanics.
Yeah, I think your deck was your character, right?
Yeah, your deck was your character, so it was you. It was your spells, your creatures that
companions, all that
like
stuff,
all
yeah.
that stuff was built into the mechanics of the card game. And we, as a community for the game that I created before, started developing the world and the RPGs as it went through.
Yeah.
And the plan was, when it got to Upper Deck, was to collate all that into a book. And then that just didn't
Because
happen.
all the tournaments that you were holding was kind of where you were doing world building.
Yes.
Because our characters will fight each
Yes.
other, and you just build the world that
Yep.
way.
And people were hating each other and loving
Oh,
each other.
absolutely.
And I mean, it was it saddened me so hard that this game didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and it was very interesting because like there were some mechanics in there that were definitely like game breaking,
Yep.
but at the same time there were ways around it, which was kind of fun. Like I'm still very upset at the auto win card of like I switch hands with you. I'm still because I think I lost like 2 games because of that stupid card.
Love it. That was so I was the first person to play
Because
that
I'm sitting there
card.
like, are you kidding me?
It was
It's like you switch characters with the person, so basically you basically knock the other person down, or at least you let yourself get hit.
You deck yourself
Yeah,
out.
you let yourself get hit a lot, and then you're like, oh, by the way, and also just throw all your cards away and be like, oh, now my character is yours.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Handle that.
You could also go into random battles for no reason to get beat up.
Yep.
And then you're like, I'm about to die. Switch.
Switch, and,
And-
it's like, really?
And then you're like, now I'm gonna fight you, and you're like, that's just dirty.
Yep.
It was a dirty card.
It was a very dirty card.
It was a
I
very
hated
dirty
it.
card. I loved every second of
I
it.
hated it.
Then there was also the Dip Watch. The Dip Watch was also a
Uh-huh.
very evil and broken card. And you have to understand, as a first-time game designer, long-time player of Magic, but as a first-time game designer, your intention is never what the players do with it.
Oh, absolutely. No, we were finding ways.
I had cards where I was like, this is how this should work, right? Like this is this, and this is how this should be played. Like in your brain, you're going, this is how this should be played. You play it a couple times by yourself. You're like, no, yeah, this is how this should be played. Then you put it in the hands of other people,
They're like,
and they exploit every comma, every extra space.
all the synergy with
just-
the other cards, like, oh, this other card does this, which makes this card untouchable. Okay.
I made the mistake of not. So there was a card that was supposed to help you draw a card. It was an enhancement card, and you were supposed to put it on yourself so that you could draw an extra card. Because one of the hardest things was having cards
Getting
in your
cards in
hands.
hand, yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is gonna help you. And I think it was like 2 or 3 tournaments in that I hosted. One person put 3 of them on someone else,
And just deck them out.
and then just decked them out because they were pulling so many cards, and it was just like, what? No, that's not. Wait, no. Right? And it was just like, wait, no.
That's not how you use. Oh,
That's
that
not
is
how you.
brilliant.
And I was like, that is amazing. I did not forget about you. I said hi to Vic. I said hi to Vic. Don't even. And every time Skip says something, I say something to Skip. But I said hi to Vic, and Vic was the one who sparked the conversation that we are literally having right now. Miss Ebony's always trying to get me on something. I don't know why.
That's
but-
Mod Squad, man.
but she
What
is
we do.
always trying to get me on something. But it's really fun, I thought, when that happened, because then, okay, for some of them it was like, okay, we got to retcon that. Like, I got to change this card. But it was still in like development, so it was okay.
Yeah, you could do you could do that.
But honestly, why y'all call him my name? Because
Keep my name out your mouth.
because you're gonna come have Will Smith come slap me. But one of the things is that I actually started creating cards to counteract those cards, because one of the things when people were talking to me, they were saying, it's like, look, you know, how are you going to deal with the fact that you're going to create cards that make like amazing combinations and whatnot? And I was like, well, I am only one person, so I'm bound to screw that up. But instead of banning cards, because that is absolutely stupid,
Yeah.
I will make a card to answer for that issue, right? And because I was a big fan of not taking it away from you. Like, if you found a combo that worked,
Yeah, I mean, that's how games are. You exploit them.
you should keep it,
Yeah.
right? But in order for everyone else to still have fun and to force the players to evolve, I would make a card that was a common card, and I would place it in air, like I would saturate the market with the answer to that
one game breaking.
to that one game breaker, right? And so now it's just up to you whether you're going to use it, because you
or
already
find another way.
or find another way, right? And so I thought it was an interesting way to deal with those kind of situations.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of the RPG, like that has always
that was
been.
what I liked. That was the thing I liked, of the fact that your deck, like I said, being your character and being similar to like a Dungeons and Dragons, where as the more you play, your deck levels up, making other cards in your deck easier to play, because you can have, like, let's say you're level 1, you can have a level 10 card in your deck. Doesn't mean you can play it immediately. You have to kind of build up to that card. But the higher you get in levels, cards that are more powerful become easier to use, even though you've had them since level 1. You know.
Yeah. But I think that aspect was kind of lost on a lot of card players, right? They were not.
They're expecting Magic.
They're expecting Magic or
they're
Pokemon.
expecting Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know.
And
Yu-Gi-Oh, Hearthstone.
And that was probably the hardest. Jamie with the win.
Rigged.
Rigged. Everything's rigged.
Rigged.
The thing is that most card players, I was trying to build a bridge between Magic and D&D, and it still seems like there's a very strong divide. You know, like they still play, like D&D players will play Magic and Magic will play D&D, but there's no bridge, there's no game that's going, this is both.
Yeah.
And so I guess I call it a success. It won an award, so as much as Dice Tower hated it, it won an award, so...
Dice Tower. How dare you name this ninja card Ninja?
Oh my god.
This card's name is Sword. Yeah, because it's a level 1 sword.
It's a level 1 sword. Like, what do you want from me?
He's not going to call it the Orphan Maker or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a level 1 sword.
And so, the bad part is I'm going to do this game, and there's going to be a card called Punch. Because guess what you're doing?
You're punching a
You're
thing.
punching, right?
And it just says Ninja Star. His naming convention is so unoriginal. It's like, really, dude, those are level 1 cards.
But see, and that with that, which was funny, was I'm like, you didn't open any of the other packs that were given to you.
That had the higher level
Cards in there,
weapons
and I was
stuff,
just like, and you did exactly what the rules told you not to do at the very beginning. It said play from level 5. It says that. It's like, look, this game was designed as a RPG in mind, so if you want to go through the grind, you do a level 1 and you work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
But to jump into the game, to learn how to play the game, you should play at level 5 first.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it.
Which is very much like D&D. A lot of people, like for me, whenever I DM, I start characters at level 3.
Right.
I hate level 1 characters. Like, there's nothing to
You
do.
can't do anything,
You
and
can't
it
do
takes
anything.
forever.
At
right?
least at level 3, you have stuff that you can play around
Right,
with,
and you have some spells, and you can do
Yeah.
that. But, nonetheless, it's going to be the same thing. And, I'm going to go, I don't know, I'm probably going to end up at Gen Con again. And I will hand deliver the game and the book to them and go, try and remember that at level 1, things aren't really special.
Yep.
Because a sword is just a sword.
It's just a sword, dude.
When you become level 15, you can get the Sword of Almeric that kills everything. Like,
Exactly.
you can get that.
That was what the minute he said that, I started laughing so hard. It's like, are you kidding, dude? Have you played any game on this planet?
That's the one. There were so many things that he said that I like laughed off, but that was the thing that really hurt. I'm like, you're trolling me, right? You have to be trolling me right
That's
now.
really kind of how it came across.
It's like you have
think
to.
you're trolling at this point, because
You have to.
probably one thing about the game didn't sit well with you, and you just let that trickle down.
It didn't, I watched the original review. And that
Did he
it
put
was
out a different
live,
one?
yeah. So it was
Ooh.
live at Gen Con, right? And the original one, him and his buddy, seemingly like in the basement, but I'm assuming at a hotel.
Mhm.
And they took all the games, right? People were giving them games, whatever. And the one guy was like, I gotta use the bathroom. Right? And so he's like, all right, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. And he's like, cool, what's up next? He's like, oh, this game from over there. He's like, oh, cool. And he's like, I love destroying wannabe Magic deck build. Like, didn't crack it.
He already going with bias.
Didn't crack it open, didn't read a single thing, and he was just like, he's like, oh, it's a card game. I love destroying card games. Then he got the box, and he's like, especially when they're horrible knockoff Magic cards. And it's like, and at that point I'm like, there's nothing.
You're not winning that battle at this point.
And he jumped in and ripped it apart. Right, and that he also was like, it says ninja on there. What is it? There's a ninja, right? He said it there too. And then when he came back, and then he did his, shock value review, throwing stuff in the garbage and stuff like that. And I was just like,
this man, like, the thing is, I still feel you won that, because for him to spend that much time and that much just anger and ranting, I'm like, who's the real winner here?
I'm like, thanks, man. I mean, people went and looked up my Kickstarter. They found it on Amazon.
That was what was hilarious,
just like,
because if you go going through those comments on that video, most of the people were like, now I have to go buy this and see.
Is it really this
I
bad?
have to go buy
And
this.
then,
I'm like, so who's the winner
like,
here?
you're an idiot. You're an idiot, and it's funny. But it's really. I went to a Reddit, which.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Especially,
I was looking for the rules, right? Because I have like 1 million flash drives, and one of them died, and so I'm like, I could have swore I saved it here or there. I'm like, you know what? It's online. I know it's online because I put it online. So I was like, Dark Legacy, The Rising, rules. And then one of them is like Reddit. And I was like,
it's like, uh-oh, do I or do I?
it's like, do I jump in here or do I not jump in here?
Because that is a deep end.
It is. Public versions. Instead of to join my Patreon, buy it on Gumroad. Okay. Buy it in a year. Nice. I gotta look at it. Let's look
Yeah,
at
you
it.
put 2 links in there.
Oh, come on. Why are you making stuff
That
look so...
rendering is really good. That glow looks
Yep, this-
super glowy.
I like
It's
the
really
screen.
good,
This is very nice. Yep. He's got 2 versions. He knows what he's doing. He's got it down. But I went there, and people were saying all the same stuff, And what's funny is this one guy, he was like, I was at Gen Con, and this game was awful when I played it because, I rolled a 10 and that person rolled a 2, and so he couldn't do it. I'm like, so? Like, have you ever played D&D before?
The funny thing is, none of them realize that that's not the game you designed. Because
Oh, yeah, that's not the game. This is not the game I
That
designed.
was not the game you designed.
But, as I kept going and listening to these people be like, this person never should have been paid, who designed this, 4-year-old, it was like, oh my goodness, okay. But we go down, and then there was this one guy, and he goes, I don't exactly know why you guys are going so hard on this guy who made this, because the game actually works.
the game actually is a good, playable, solid game. I watched the videos, I watched the tutorials, and it's a solid game. And he goes, the problem is that the reviewer didn't want to buy into the world that was created.
Yeah.
And so starting at a level 1, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to go to level 20, be level 20, and be, the almighty destroyer of lands.
Just build the most badass deck.
Right, and it's like, and that's not how this was set up. It's set up like D&D.
It's a grind. Like, it's a character that you...
Yep. And he was like, so here's the thing. He's like, this game works. All of you guys are just, pretty much whiny babies. It works. If the designer wanted to placate towards a more broad audience, I would suggest 4 D6s.
I was going to bring up this because I think most of the stuff that I remember seeing was about the D20.
About the D20.
The D20 system instead of
And I was
something
like,
else.
Okay.
That's constructive criticism.
And I was like, you know what? That worked.
That's what you
And you know what I did? I went and redesigned the D20 mechanic to deal with 5 dice. I did 5 dice. 4 regular dice, and then the hit die. So if you roll a certain number, whether you crit horribly or you crit really well, or was it 4 dice? I have to check. I forgot. It's 4 or 5. But anyway, 1 dice is red. 1 die is red. And that's your crit die. And so if you are in the low numbers and you crit whatever it said, whatever you rolled on the crit die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, goes to the crit chart, and it then deals out either punishments or benefits.
Yeah.
So you could get double the damage, or you could
You're getting rewarded.
You're
for
getting
credit,
rewarded
yes.
for critting, and I was like, if that's what you're whining about,
You can just, that's house rule. You can change that yourself.
I'm like, that's not.
That's
I'm like,
house rule stuff.
come on, you're I rolled a 1. Have you ever played D&D?
And not rolled a 1
Have you?
ever.
I was like, have you ever
rolled dice
rolled?
before?
And I'm like, and that's how I knew I was mostly dealing with card players, because those who played it, watching them play and do the roller coaster, I rolled really well. I rolled really horrible. I rolled really well. I rolled really well. Oh my goodness! And my cards are lining up. Now they're not. There's a whole roller coaster, which happens in D&D.
Yep.
It just does.
You're not going to crit every time.
Yep.
You're not going to hit every time. You're not going to succeed every time you roll those dice.
Yep. And so when they played it, they're like, okay, I'm not a D&D player, but I'm glad I played it because it gave me a different feel, different sensation. Like, this was really cool.
Yeah.
And, one person, he was like, I am a tournament ranked Magic player. This game is too slow for me, but I can see the complete and utter merit of this game.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You can't please everyone, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's a slow burn of a game. It's
Right.
a game that rewards you for
playing
it.
For playing it.
The more you play it, the better off your deck becomes.
And I'm like, not a problem. And the best part is I'm going, book. All I have to do from here on out, like, make the base set of cards, and then go, book. New bad guys, new this, book. Right? And then you like, oh, are we gonna get? It's like, oh yeah, 2 years. I'll give you some more cards. Like, I just
Expansion packs.
every year, book. Right? There needs to be a book, but don't necessarily have to make cards every year.
I'll just update the rule sets and
Right? And be like, here's this or here's that. And like, and then to even go, you don't need to do the deck builder part because it's all here in the book. You want to walk around with the book? Walk around with the book. I don't care.
Did you ever have pre-built decks?
I did.
Which would just make it easier for anyone to jump in.
And I
Here's a
had
pre-built deck.
different levels, 5, 10, 15, and 20.
Yeah.
I had different, when I was running the show, I was like, look, you want to get in? Here. I even had, what was it, Tao? Do you remember Tao? He was the one that it was an exclusive deck, and that's where the Black Poison card was.
I think I remember.
Tao was he was a poison ninja, All right, and the only way you could get the Black Poison card was by buying the Tau deck.
Yeah.
And like, look, if anything, when it came to stuff like that, I know how to run it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I know how to do chase. They didn't want to do chase cards. I was like, we should do a chase card at Comic-Con. Yeah, our fans don't do that. I'm like, it's a deck builder.
Yep.
You want to have a chase card, one that you can only get at
Yeah.
a certain convention. Like, you want a chase card. They're like, nope. All right, so let's see. Mid-2000s webcon ruined paywalls for webcon. Sorry. It seems like you figured a way around it though. So you have to do something different while still giving people something for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, too many people think just having the ability to engage with media makes them an expert. That's true. As opposed to having... Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, with this guy, like, he's never made a game.
No, never has. He's
No.
just a guy that just sits and reviews
He
them.
sits and he plays games, and I respect that, right? You can play the game. But I love that that's my retort on everything when people are like, your game sucks. I'm like, where's yours? Where is you? Not where is yours, because anyone can make one. Where's your published and distributed all around the world game?
Doesn't have to give anything.
What?
Where's your
No.
published thing?
No? Okay, then... Oh, can I also add award-winning? Okay? No? No? Okay, zip it. Right? It's like, I don't know why people are so hateful.
I honestly felt like that video, the guy just did it for content. It
I do too.
felt like this. I need content. I haven't ranted in a while.
Yeah, and it's fine, because I mean, I'm going to have a joke video. I know once I'm ready to kickstart this game, there is going to be a video, like a Rocky video, right? I'll be in the corner here, it'll be dark, and as I'm listening, you know, like little bits, and it's like, worst game of 2018, you know, and it's like a detriment to the gaming community.
Like cut to the Christopher Daniels commercial.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, you know, just doing all this stuff, and then it's like, now, after 6 years,
The worst game. Of
the worst game,
2014 is even worse.
it's like the worst game designer of 2018 straps up his boots, and then we'll do some Rocky and be like, you know, have you like drawing and stuff like that. I mean, like,
You were just punching cards.
you know, just to be. I'm like, look, I don't. And then at the end, it's like, that's right, you heard it. Worst game of 2018. You know you want it because you want to see if it's worse.
Well, guess what? It is.
It is the worst. Just come up with weird words and stuff.
You have all these quotes from like this things that have nothing to do with video games.
Just nothing. It just.
McDonald's says it's the worst game.
And McDonald's also agrees it's the worst game ever. Oh,
That needs to happen.
because no, that was my whole plan. Ever since it happened, I'm like, the next game I make, I'm going to be quoting stuff that he has said, you know, and then like I'm gonna throw stuff into the trash can, just like he, you know, just like.
Light it on fire.
You know, it's like, look, we can do this all day. I don't care.
I mean, from what I remember of that video, especially when he's throwing, you could tell he was gently throwing it into the trash.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that he could take it back.
He lofted it out. Yeah, it was like
He
whatever.
knew he took that back. Like he just placed it right
Yeah,
down.
it was
And
like-
dude,
This man didn't do one lick of inking because look. It's right here. It's right here.
He's inking. He
I
did.
inked
He drew.
that. Do you mean I didn't continue?
Line.
Did you mean I didn't continue? Because that's true. That is absolutely true. I did not continue. Keeping him from his favorite pastime. I do not. You know what? That is going to be my first. You hear it here today. That is. I hate inking shirt is going to be the first shirt
Official merch.
of 2023. The I hate inking shirt is that. Before this month is over, I will show you the design, and then starting January 1st, it'll be available for sale. because
I
that
just
is
see it as similar to like what you had on your business card of you angry pointing. It's just you doing that but saying I hate
yeah, hating king. Well, somebody did suggest this could be a chatting stream today. That is true. See, but see, Miss Ebony has it out for me. I don't know. I don't exactly know what I did to incur the wrath of Miss Ebony. Like I don't exactly
Probably
know.
because you went to Christmas Town and didn't take her.
And then
I don't know what's going on.
maybe, maybe I don't know. It's a possibility, but I don't know. Well, I'm really happy that you're gonna do some personal work so that you can give me my stuff.
I'm definitely knocking your stuff out first before I even get there. I'm definitely
It's
knocking
like,
that out. Because at this point I only have 3 more commissions to do, which is finish yours. I have one for Kevin Joseph, which I need to do.
Oh yeah.
And then I've got a helmet to finish. So
Mm.
after that, I'm just like,
Oh.
all right.
Have you seen on Instagram? There's this company or person, and I've talked to them because it would intrigue me to no end. They will take your drawing, flat drawing, and make it a 3D print.
It's like Z something studio, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I follow them.
I am so very curious because I asked them, of course.
Because a lot of times they only show one image.
It's just one
It's
side. And I was like, see, because I actually talked to them because I was like, how much do you bulk? Theirs was, they're gonna model it, and I can get 10 prints for $800.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. And I'm like, so what you're telling me is that I can just give you, like, if I give you a picture, how do you model the back?
One thing I did notice is they weren't doing anything overly. It felt like it was a lot of chibi, simplified, stylized
I've
characters.
seen some others though that were full on like, and they, what you notice is they never really go all the way around
They would
it.
show the front, or at least match the angle of the one image.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but there were some where they actually went around it. And I was just like, but you're telling me you don't need that. And then I was like, so what if I give you the action pose, but then I give you the turnaround? Because I was like, if I give you the turnaround, do you need a pose? Like, I need the pose that you wanted in. It's like, okay. So I'm like, I have turnaround and I have character of, the weapons master, and I'm like, I'm curious. So one of those like curiosity is killing me
See
at this
what's
one.
there.
I'm just like, if that's the case, that could be a really quick way to go, all right, I'm gonna get 10, 800. So let's just say we do X amount. I was like, that'd be a quick
And
way.
at the very least, you're getting prototypes just to.
Yeah, because I'm like, prototypes would be nice to go, to be able to go to Licensing Expo and just
Toys.
have
It's already there.
because I mean, honestly, what I would do, like if I'm going to Licensing Con, I'm taking the figure and I'm gonna go, here's what I want to do, like here's what.
It just shows that you're already ahead of the game.
It's
That's
like-
really all it is.
This is what it would look like.
Yeah.
It's like,
And to a lot of people like that, it not only says dollars, but it also shows that your property can live in many different mediums.
right.
It's like, just because you have 2D drawings doesn't mean, we can make a 3D show
Right.
if we wanted
It's
to.
like, what
We
is it
can
gonna look?
do-
What is
yeah.
it gonna look like? I'm like,
Yeah.
here. This
Yeah,
is what it's gonna look like.
My 2D sketches translate well to 3D.
Right.
So it just opens up more doors.
Right. And then, to go, hey, here's this selection screen. Like, this is kind of the feel, what it would feel like. And they're like,
Yeah,
because
just go there with all the key talking points. It's
that,
really, yeah.
well, that is my big plan. I'm still working out next, because I'm like, do I even want to go to Comic-Con next year?
It's Comic-Con's a lot.
Because here's the
It's a
thing,
lot.
it's a mini table. I got it. Now I have to pay $350
It didn't
for
feel
it.
like 4 feet, man.
But
It felt smaller.
I've measured it.
I'm sure it
I've
is, but
measured
it just
it.
being there just felt smaller.
So the t-shirt producer did not make an error. But I was like, it's 4 feet. They weren't really overly evil this year, but I'm like, 4 feet. I gotta bring stuff. It's like, and I made money, but then it's like, is it really worth it? And while I had some people come by, I was like, wouldn't it be better if I just went to them instead of hoping that they would come to me?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know what? The school will pay for me as a speaker. So if I could just be a speaker, which it seems like I will have a space with them to talk, you know, I'm like, so if I can be like, hey, I want to do this again this year and whatnot, and they're like, cool, we want you to come. Here's your ticket and your 16 slots for your friends to come, which was bananas. But you know, it's like, if I could come in as a speaker and then just go, I just need to get a hotel, and I just need to get the flight, and the school will pay for my flight and my hotel, and then I can enjoy
Your time there.
San Diego
Yep.
instead of stressing about, will I make enough money to come back, right? Like, will it be enough? I'm like,
Was the trip worth it? You know, did you break even?
right?
Yeah,
And
it's a
I'm
lot
like,
to consider.
I think that to be honest, I'm like, I think, because I was done before, right? And I was like, I don't, right? And then we got to talking to some people, and they're like, oh, it's so sad that you're not going to be here. And then, you know, it was like, oh, well, you know, we'll be back. And I'm like, I don't know if I want. I just really don't know if I want to. Oh no, it's down to the last two.
Shootings.
Oh, yes, get it. Get the other one. Get the other one. Okay, we have a chance. We have a chance. We're fighting Skip, though. Skip's already won.
Come on, Skip.
Come on. Come on, don't let him get another one. Don't drop another one. Come on. Hunt him down. Hunt him down. Yes! Like, yes!
We tried, Skip. We tried.
He's like, come on, Skip. But I think that it's a rig.
It is.
It probably is. But I think that at this point, I want to, because I've always said, I want to experience Comic-Con. Like, I did it my first year.
As an attendee? Or
Yeah, just like as a professional. I did it my first year. And then I went to the after parties, and life was just like, I don't have missions to do. I'm not dog tired. You know, my voice isn't gone. And it was like, it'd be nice. And I've said this before. I was like, I really would like to just go. And if I can go, and they're going to give me the ticket, which is hella expensive, and I still can get people in, because they can just be part of the talk, and the school's going to pay for it.
It's far less overhead for you.
It's just like I don't really have to worry about anything except for food, because the amount of money that is there is enough to cover the hotel and flight. Like that's it. The hotel and flight, that's it. And so I'm like, well, I don't know if I want. Like I know that I want to go to licensing con. Like I know
I
that.
said plan for that instead.
It's like
Plan for that instead of
that's
Comic-Con.
and it's like that's where I really, really want to go. Like I really want to go to licensing con. Right? Like I know that there's no like I'm not making any money for that. Like I'm going there to promote, to either A, find someone who will let me license something from them, but mostly I want to go to Hasbro still and go, you guys are licensing stuff. You have a property under your belt called Spiral Zone. 1987.
Can I has?
It was 57 episodes, and I know that you have the rights to the American stuff that you guys made, not the stuff that's currently still going on in Japan called Spiral Zone. But I want this. And they're like, we don't have that. I'm like, it's actually, the license is actually under Tonka, which you guys own. You own Tonka, and Tonka has the rights to Spiral Zone.
Now give me.
You have not done anything with this since that one season in 1987, and it's almost been 40 years.
It's the kind of stuff that a lot of these companies do hold in their back pocket, though. Like,
Right, and they
just
might
do nothing.
they do nothing with it.
Do nothing
But I'm
with it.
like, you've done nothing with this. It's just gonna die, and in 20 more years, it's gonna become a part of the public domain because you're doing nothing
Or
with
they'll
it.
probably just renew it before it does that.
I doubt it because it really wasn't a big thing. Like Spiral Zone wasn't big. It has a cult following for those who know about it. But if not, nothing, right? But I'm like, I don't think you understand. It's G.I. Joe and zombies. Like, what better time than right now for G.I. Joe and zombies?
Yep.
I'm like, come on. And you make it just a wee bit darker, right?
Just mature it up a little bit.
And I'm like, come on, you got all this super science, sci-fi stuff with all these super tech vehicles and stuff. And then it's like, hey, the bad guys are literally infecting normal human beings to become mindless zombies that are being controlled by them. And so while you are trying to save them, they're trying to kill you, and you have to decide whether or not you are going to try and shoot them in the face.
Now, what would you do with something like that? Like, would you go more comic with it, or like just
Comic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think comic first, get people all interested, and then it'd be great to get picked up by something.
I think I never really even thought about that an artist could literally go to a company like that and say, "Hey, you've got this thing, you haven't done anything with it. Can I?"
Can I? And they'll come up with a price, and they'll be like, this much. And generally, they'll be like, okay,
And you're only going to get the comic book licenses.
right,
Yeah.
for X amount of time. Also, you got to think about, they'll ask you about things like how many years, like I could make a t-shirt, like I could license Hasbro for one of their characters. Like if I went to Mattel, I could be like, I want to make a He-Man t-shirt. And they'll be like, cool. No, maybe not so cool because I'm,
They'll
but
put you
anyway,
through some
but
hoops.
the idea is they'll be like, all right, cool. How many units are you planning on making? How much are you selling these units for? Okay, we will let you have the license for He-Man to make this one shirt. The license itself will be this much money, and then we need, like X
X
amount from each
From
sale.
revenue. Yeah.
Right. But you could. Now you're not going up to them going, hey, I'd like to make like 100 shirts.
No, they're not gonna go with that.
Right? You're like, oh, well, I plan on making 10,000 shirts, 20,000 shirts, because it's got to be worth it for you and them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a legal thing too. Like they have to go to the lawyer. Like I've talked to some licensing people, and they're like, look, because I wanted G.I. Joe sketch cards. It's like, let us make G.I. Joe sketch cards, and they're like, well, we don't know you. And I'm like, that's fair. And it's like, why would I go to you where I could just go to Upper Deck and I know them? And I was like, well, that's fair. And they're like, because we also want to make money.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I got nothing. Right? But if you're going, this thing that's been dead, that you've not done anything with,
That you clearly don't care about.
and was a flop when it came out,
See what we can do with
it's like, I would love to get my hands on it. So, I don't know. But I would love to be able to go to licensing con. And
Where is it?
it's in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And that would count as the one West Coast convention that I have to spend my money on to go to. But that for me is a really big one. Like I really want to.
Jeez, my mom is fucking ridiculous. I'm now attached on my phone. I can check her home security. Look at how many notifications this lady has that she doesn't check.
Dude, jeez.
I'm like, and I'll go in and clear it out, and I'll come back the next day, and it's just like she has to clear that on her phone as well.
Mm-hmm.
36,000
A
notifications.
lot of notifications. You can tell that she does not care.
She's not touched.
She was like, I don't even care. I don't care. That was her statement. It's like,
Yeah, that is.
I
don't check my cameras at all.
don't care. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, I want to expand beyond where I am. And I think that's the big one for me as to why I'm like, I did Comic-Con since
How many years in a row?
2008 was the first time I had a table. So it's like,
Quite a while.
it's a long time, and I'm just like, I can't necessarily say that it has spawned big I'm still stuck in that little space. I haven't if I wanted to go work for Marvel or for Boom Studio, I had to go there to that company anyway. So why not just do that? Like, why not just
Like,
go?
keep relying on San Diego. It's just
Right.
not going to happen.
It's like, why not just go ahead and do it? And I think the big thing for me was I was holding on to this. That book.
the character design.
That book came from San Diego, right? And it was like the second or third year I went, and then they're like, "Hey, this is really cool. Have you ever thought about making a book?" And I'm like, right? And I was like, "Oh, these things come from San Diego. Like, we're gonna do all the moving and shaking." And it just really didn't happen. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. Like, I would.
Well, I mean, are the returns worth it anymore?
No.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
No.
Is that the returns.
You know, it's not like, I like speaking. Like, I go to the convention and I talk, and that's really cool. But you know,
So just do that.
It's
Don't
like-
even worry about tabling anymore.
I'm just like, I just want to go and enjoy the people who are there and have the opportunity to go, I can just come here and I can talk to you. I can spend 10, 15, 20 minutes here and not worry about anything,
Yeah.
like, whatsoever. And I think that's heart of hearts. That's where, because I need to decide in 4 days, because
Oh, for San Diego.
San Diego, they're like, congratulations, you have a table. I'm like, great, but now you're charging me. Before, the whole thing was, it was cool because it was an invite, and I didn't have to pay $350 for half a table.
Now you're adding more expense to
Yeah,
it.
and so now you're making me pay for it, and I'm not feeling that at all. Go to a con and enjoy the con. What is that like? Well, when you decide to be your own store, there's no fun at a convention. You're just working. And then hopefully your fun comes like 3 days after when you're sleeping.
And that's if you don't manage to catch the con flu.
Oh, there's that. That's what took me out. That's what took me out for like 2 weeks. And con flu kicked my butt. It's
That's fine.
but I mean, I don't. Well, they hit me with that rent, and I'm like, that's cool. Now, mind you, it isn't until July. You have to pay for your table by December 8th. And I'm like, you couldn't wait until after Christmas? Like, you couldn't at least get us to the new year?
Wait till after the holidays.
And I'm like, really? Like, come on, man. Like, that's just mean. Like, that's just mean. So, I'm not, and it's a hard thing to say. Like, before, it was like, I don't want to, but I'll go. Just maybe this year will be better.
This year will be the, yeah. I think you're falling into that repeating cycle of this will be the year, this will be the year, and it's just not happening.
And it just doesn't happen. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this will be the year because I'm not at that table, right? And then I go to
You also have more
Astro.
chance to actually walk around and see stuff.
Yep. Like there was the one year where I found out the Nickelodeon was doing on the spot pitches.
Is it the one that you and Hernandez did?
No, well, we were both there, but he didn't do a pitch. He didn't have anything.
I remember watching a video on YouTube of Hernandez doing a pitch somewhere.
That was yeah. He did that as for a comic book thing.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah,
like
I was still in AI.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
college.
Oh really?
That's when he was getting his grad degree.
Oh wow.
Or it was directly thereafter, one or the other. But no, mine, it was like I was doing a lecture, and then we were talking about taking the opportunity when it presents itself and stuff like that. And someone was like, "Did you by chance hear that Nickelodeon's doing on the spot, cartoon pitches?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Yeah, I think that's a thing." And I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Cool." Ended the lecture, straight to Nickelodeon, and I was like, there's a rumor going around that you were doing like we can pitch to you,
Pitches and
and and he was like, yeah, and it was not. What the hell you do? It was yes, we are. We're closed for today, and I'm like, duh. All right, and then
no,
you-
I do.
Huh?
No, I don't. No
Nope.
iPhone charger in the car.
no. But it was like, okay, do this, fill this paper out, and then if we'll
Hold the
contact you,
spot.
we'll contact you with how to get in and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Did it? They emailed me like randomly sometime in the middle of the night, and they're like, your interview's at 8 a.m. I'm like, do what? And they gave me directions, which was
Oh, that's the one with like the weird building.
it was like go here,
Yeah.
go up, go around the rafters, come down, go into this hallway. But it was all Nickelodeon once you got in there. Like once you were inside, because even the waiting room was like one of those horror movie hotels where it's like you're in this hallway and there's one light that was flickering. and stuff.
flickering.
It was horrible. I was like, oh my goodness, this is where I'm gonna die.
They're gonna steal my ideas.
I'm like, I'm gonna die here at San Diego, and they're gonna be like, idiot went to Nickelodeon and died. But you get in there and it was all like bright and orange, and it was all Nickelodeon, and it was fantastic. I pitched to the 2 executive people. They were fantastic. They looked at my stuff and they're just like, you did a lot of work. And I was like, well, yeah, why wouldn't I? And it was like, why wouldn't I? It wasn't that I planned this. It was just I was doing this for my own, because it was Dark Legacy stuff when Enrique and Scott and all of them, and John did all the like anime, the little cartoon, and then
John did the music.
he did the music. He
Yeah.
did the storyboards for the cartoon show, and I had all the character designs and stuff like that. And they're like, you did a lot of work to do like a pitch, and I was like, yeah. And they looked at me and they're just like, but we have Korra. Right, like, because it was like in the
It's
height.
kind of for that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it was in the height of when they're like, it's like this is really good. This is like great content, and we like it. But we have something like this, and I'm like, yeah, you know what?
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Fair.
And they're like, do you have any comedy? I'm like, no. I was like, nah, I'm sorry. I don't. Comedy and we're not that tight. And they're like, well, if you have any, if you think of anything, you should come back. But he's like, you did a lot. It's just, why would we fight ourselves?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, and that made complete sense. So, but I want that. Like that was thrilling. Like that was awesome. I went to another Comic-Con and I had some G.I. Joe stuff, and the person was like, this is when I was in college, like I was at college, and the guy goes, are you looking to get a I'm like, no, I was just, I was just talking to the person. He's like, you come here. And I'm like,
Talk to these people.
and then I got pulled behind the stage and everything, and got a full-on critique from the editor of G.I. Joe.
Nice.
And it was like, this is amazing.
Nice.
And that stuff just doesn't happen when you're sitting behind the table.
Yeah, no.
It just
At all.
doesn't. So, yeah, no, I think it's pretty darn solid. That it's like, it's not gonna happen. I'm not,
The returns are just not worth
it's
it.
just not. It's not worth it. I think it would be more interesting to try and finagle my way back into New York and see if that's.
I feel like honestly New York would be it's far less overhead for you, and I feel like it's a similar type of crowd.
Yeah, it is. But it's almost impossible to get into now. I went there when it first started. I was there at every one, and then I was no longer worth it, and so I got booted.
BlurredCon all over.
BlurredCon 101. But yeah, so it was just like, but I think trying to find something over there. I was told to go to Comic Palooza in Houston.
Never heard.
Me either, but people were like, yeah, that's what happened at BlurredCon.
Don't worry about it, Skip.
What?
Thanks.
What happened at BlurredCon? Quick rundown. BlurredCon 1, there were 2 guests of honor. Myself and the person who wrote... what's he doing? It wasn't Was it Boondocks? No, it wasn't Boondocks. It was...
Was it Kevin Gervois?
No, it was Brian. He was another Brian. It was
No, Kevin Guerrero was the third year, I think. He was the guy that did Underworld.
Yeah, he did. Oh my goodness, what did he write? It wasn't Rick and Morty. Anyway, it was a comic. He was a comic book animator and writer, and so it was he and I, and we were the two guests of honor. Cool. Second year, myself, him, the Tuskegee Air guys, the four of us, we were the guests of honor. Cool. Third year, no longer important.
No table.
Third year, no longer important, no table whatsoever.
I think that was the first year that.
Yeah, that was the first year that you were with me because I got a table through the gaming person who was like, he needs a table, right? And so he got me a table, and I was like, cool. Fourth year, I got a table. No. Fourth year, I got a
The year
table.
that I shared the table with you, was that the year you and Hernandez were going to do it, or?
No, I just had an extra
You
table.
just had an extra table, okay.
The fourth year, same thing though, right? There's no table for you. And I was like, all right, cool. I talked to the same gaming guy. He's like, dude, I got you. And he got me a table, right? But it was long. It was like 5 months of trying to go back and forth about this table. And then I was at the table, wheeling and dealing like I normally do. Same person who was like, we don't have a table for you because you're not hot stuff. You're not as hot as we want you to be. So no. Came with 3 young men and was like, hey, would you mind talking to these guys, because you're a teacher and you're really good at motivating young guys to really be. And I was like, oh, so the thing that I was supposed to be doing when you gave me a table, you want me to do for free.
Yep.
Because I found a way to get a table. And that was the last time I went as a table. And then Matt got me a badge.
Houston.
Yeah, not this year, but last year. Because people were like, you should come. And I was like, fine, I'll show up. And I was like, I asked him, he got me a ticket, and I was like, all right. But outside of that, I wouldn't have went. Because I'm like, I want to support it so bad. I do. I really
There's
do.
just a lot of behind the scenes stuff. At Con. Like it's every year there's always something. So
It's like,
it always feels like it's something
Yep.
that happens after the show where
Yep.
people are buzzing and talking about it.
Yep. And it's just like, and I keep meeting more and more people who are like, yeah, I went to BlurredCon and it was awesome. And I'm like, it is awesome for the fans because it's a big party.
It's a party con,
It's
yeah.
a big party. So yeah, they're having a great time. They have a huge arcade that's for free downstairs. Music's going all the time.
Yeah.
It's
It's like all the traffic gets directed away from Artist Alley,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
It's just
and-
how it is.
and it's all it's weird. Like one section, it's like got the main flow, and then if you are part of the lesser important people,
They
you
stick you in the back.
they
or
stick you in the
or they
back
have like
annex.
they have the main alley that you walk through, but then they have these little offshoots that you can fit like 4 or 5 tables in each of them.
Yeah,
And then they just stick people there.
it's weird. It's weird to to say the best, I guess.
I just think is the space they're in, that hotel,
They've outgrown it.
they outgrew that like 30 year or so.
Yeah, they
Like
did.
very quickly.
Yeah, they outgrew it. They need a different. But they either have a cheap rent for the space, or they sign a multi-year deal and they're stuck there for a while.
Like I don't remember. Someone told me this. I don't know how true it is, but that they were talking about the Washington Convention Center for future shows. But I'm like, that was 3 years ago. You were saying you were mentioning this, but then the last 2 they've had have been at the same hotel. So
It's a big jump to go from that hotel to the convention center.
yeah.
So I don't really foresee that happening. Although it would be great if it did. It'd be great if it did. I just don't foresee that happening anytime soon. Which sucks, but
It is what it is.
what are you gonna do? When you're constantly hating. Look at this. Look at him. He just.
Just whipping things
It's
out
just you're
everywhere.
just like, oh yeah, I'm listening to you, blah blah blah, whatever. Look, I've already made my next thing.
Going on sale soon.
Because it'll take like 1 to 2 hours to pencil. Blah. That con center is expensive. Would have to increase badge prices. Oh, I'm sure. That's the thing. Like I don't foresee them going there because Now I don't know because I've always been in Artist Alley, but it doesn't look like it's that on and popping at BlurCon.
It's just in a certain spots like the arcade where they have like a dance floor where
Right.
most people get traffic to, or outside where a lot of the cosplayers are doing photo shoots, and stuff
cosplay
like that.
things. But that's my big thing because I'm just like I don't necessarily think that they're making money where they are, but I don't think that if they went to
Eventually, they're gonna have to expand, and it's
gonna have to do
they're gonna
something.
eventually.
Otakon out here charging up to 1,000. What? Oh no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Because it did move from Baltimore Center Convention Center to DC.
You are absolutely right. I remember I exhibited once because someone had something for Artway Alliance, and there was a table exchange for something, and so I had a table there, and I went and asked some people, right? Like some of them had a little booth side, it was over on the side. I'm like, how much did you pay for like this? And he was like, it was like $1,200. Like, $1,200 for what? For the table? And he's like,
There's
yeah.
like a 10 by 10 space. that
And
they get.
I was like, you have got to be out of your mind. And then I asked someone else I think I asked Kenny. And he paid for a corner. No, he didn't have a corner.
Probably in
No,
line.
he didn't. No, he was in the line, and I asked him, and he said he paid $1,000 for the table.
Jeez.
And I was like, I cannot. My space was $850. Ugh. Loading. Ugh.
Oh yeah, the loading.
Ugh.
They charge you for loading.
Ugh.
That's insane.
The unlimited spaces were 1,000. Oh. I was like, ugh. Gross. All that is gross.
It is.
And I would have been hot mad if I would have paid $850.
And then found out you have to pay $115 to load.
Well, see, I mean, luckily, was that Andy? But that's the loading dock. See, I don't load. I park and roll my stuff in.
What loading dock at any show have you heard that they charge you?
No, none. None.
Because I've never heard of
I was
that.
like,
To
oh yeah,
use
none.
a loading dock, I've
None.
never heard of that. I'm charging.
None. But ew. Because I did not do well at that con. Well, because I didn't have a display the way that they wanted it, and I was very comic West Coast, and that Anime Con was not hearing it, right? So I think in the 3 days that I was there, I made like $300, maybe. I would have been hot mad. Hot mad.
If you have to pay $1,100.
Okay, wait. Here, okay. Now I don't know about because it's the no cart thing, and it's weird because it comes and goes, right? Because they're like no carts, and I'm like, but it's just on wheels. Why can't I roll this when you let strollers in?
I'm wondering if it's just the convention center rules or the con, because I don't know if Awesome Con.
Because Awesome Con gives 2 poops.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think it may just be the convention organizers, because I remember for Awesome Con they might be able to roll through.
2 poops. They did not care. 2 poops. They're just like, I remember rolling up with the cart, and I'm just like, here's my badge. No, because there's no badge. You don't have my badge. I got when I was already in the convention floor. So you go into where they load for Artist Alley. Walked in. Security guard was like, "It's downstairs." Okay, got on the elevator, went downstairs, rolled the half a mile from one side of the convention center to
It's
the other,
massive, yeah.
and then took the elevator, went downstairs, and that was it. I mean, I don't get the whole no cart thing.
I think
really
it may
don't.
just be some certain convention organizers. I think it's just up to them.
And I mean, unless they're trying to do it so that you can charge for the loading dock, right? Because I'm like,
Probably.
there's no reason.
It's to force you to use the loading dock if they're
Right.
making people pay for it.
There's no reason to do that. It's just I don't get it. That's just stupid. It was always stupid because I remember I went to one convention and they're like, you can't unless you can pick that up, and which I did, right? Bring a camping cart, picked it up, walked I don't know, out of eye shot, put it down and rolled it the rest of the way. I'm like, come on. Come on. Because I'm like, what are you gonna tell the mom with 2 kids in the stroller? I'm sorry, no carts.
You can't roll that around.
You can't do that. I'm
Pick
like,
that up.
I'm like, what's the purpose, right? Like, if you can tell me, and that's the thing, because I'll sit there and argue with a person all day for something stupid, and I'm like, if you can tell me why, okay, but you don't have a reason why, and if your reason, well,
Like, is it a safety issue?
right, like,
Is
tell
it,
me.
Is it a crowd control issue? What is it?
Tell me, and then we can go from there, because then I can make my decision, right? But just going, you can't have any carts. It's like, okay, but why? Tell me why I'm not allowed to have any carts. And then be like, you know what? Don't care. And it's like, yeesh. So, I don't know. It's weird. There's a new convention coming from one of the AWA people.
Artway?
But not from Artway. It's from what's her name? She did all the masks. She's the cosplayer that generally comes. She always has festive. She has on Brittany. Yeah. She's doing a convention.
Like starting.
She's starting a convention. I think for 2024 is what her projected year is. She's doing a lot of promotion for it now. And it's funny because she put out a statement: no AI generated artwork.
Yeah, that's becoming the big thing now with was it the
Lenza,
something like that. Yeah, a lot of people are like super into that thing now. So.
I was like, you know what? It looks cool because I guess you can take a picture of yourself and then it just generates these avatars for you.
You just feed it photos and it.
And I'm like, you know what? That's really cool. Until I found out it was like $50. I was like, man, come on. And like, you got a 7-day. No, it's $40. I think you got a 7-day trial, and then it's $40 after that. And I'm like,
and it's initially I always thought it was just like a website you go to.
Yeah,
it's like, no,
that's
it's
what
an
I thought.
app on your phone.
yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I mean, I guess use it for 7 days and then get rid of it.
Get all your stuff, yeah.
Because I was like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. You know, you see it, you're like, oh, it's cool. But that's about it. I was like, because it's
And also, it seems to just keep pushing out the same.
It
you
does
can
kinda
tell
look the
it's
same,
they
yeah.
all. After a while, you've seen enough of them. You're like, okay, I can tell at this point.
Right.
Like it's spitting out the same things
Right.
over and over again.
don't let the AI steal artist work. Give it my facial data to sell. Is A-okay. It's weird. That's all there is to that.
Yeah.
That's just like, it's weird. But I mean, what I'm waiting for is when people are like, yeah, I can just go online and get this, and I'm like, yeah, have you seen the ones where the hands come out of their face? because AI doesn't exactly know what it's doing.
Yeah, no, it's just like NFTs all over again.
But see, I hate to be the one to say it, but them NFTs are still here.
But they're not pushing numbers like they used to.
Well, no.
Not even remotely close.
No, they are not. But they are still here, and it's just like, and it kills me. Every convention, someone sees like I still have some of the old like Color Pops, and they'll be like, "Man, you should do NFTs." I'm like, "Thanks, guy."
The thing is, like, the government is strongly talking about basically regulating cryptocurrency at this point, and if that goes through, shuts all of that stuff down. Like NFTs is all done. It really shuts all that. Like, and that's all that really needs to happen. Just for the government to come in and regulate it, and basically put a cap on blockchain codes and things like that. And it's just because right now, again, it's the Wild West. It's a free for all, and you
Right.
can basically generate your own what you want to do with it. But once it gets regulated, a lot of this stuff, it's going to open up a lot of other things, but stuff like this, I just hope they just kill it, just get it over. Just kill it and let it go.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Take it outside and shoot it.
Just kill it. Just go ahead and kill it.
I'm gonna hit the road. Held up your street
All
long
right.
enough.
No, they're all
Held
mad.
you guys
So
hostage.
I'm normally I would throw it because I have this nifty like this. I have this nice be right back.
You got a little stream jack.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Okay.
So I have that, but
I think it's just better to leave this up, right? Show that I was doing a little inking, and I'm gonna escort Single Digit out, and I'll be right back. All right. So hang tight. Don't burn the place down. So he left us. I told you that I was going to walk them out like a good host of someone who came into my house and hung out in the stream for like an hour. I could have left you with the be right back and that was it. But I didn't. Oh, I could. Maybe I need to put one on the stream deck. Just for such instances. But I knew it wasn't going to be gone long. Like I've been to streams before where they just left, right? And so when you're coming in, you're just like, oh, what is happening? But then normally the chat's going, like the chat's really talking. I wasn't here to listen. The chat is very active. And so you kind of come in, you're like, oh, that person went to go get something to eat. And then when they went out and got something to eat, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, yo, you serious? You went and got something to eat. So, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out a lot of things to do with the stream deck and stuff like that. I want to try and make the stream I don't know. We're going to be doing something. There we go. Mods keep it going. Yeah, that makes sense. These sub followers. That's true. But
go. I have to say I've gotten so much more comfortable with digital inking. But you know what? I think digital inking has made me faster with even with my traditional inking. The new iPad update now lets you do multiple ooh, really? Really? Because you're more confident. Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's just it's so much easier to erase. Right, everything's so much less permanent with digital inks that I've become. It's just, it's more, whoops, not necessarily freeing, but it's just it's less stress on the brain. And whoops, I can zoom in really, really far if need be. And one thing that I did know, I have noticed is that if that's if that's the case, like if I really need to zoom in for control, I can. And I think that's great. Right, also bam, making stuff straight lined and stuff like that. I'm like, lines on one layer, spot wash on the second layer. Exactly. The layer things is also just a huge godsend. It's just doing it this way just makes things easier. It's just
last couple minutes, does anyone have anything planned for the following week? Anyone doing anything fun? Comics and commissions. Yep. Feel that. And so I can get more? Yeah. I hear you. That's for next round. Okay. Work, and more work. Ugh. That does not sound fun. Like, at all. Oh, Miss Ebony puts money on and then somehow wins. So rigged. It was so rigged, I had to say it again. Because I complained about what? I won the last one. I wasn't complaining. Oh. The more fun money I have to pay for our project. Now see, yeah, okay, that's fair. Let's send that invoice. Gotta get that invoice out, man. I think we need to calm that down just a little bit. See, just being able to be this zoomed in to make sure everything is the way you need it to be. I mean, come on. Yeah. And I don't need to bust out the magnifying glass. You know, if I wanted to do this traditionally, I would have to have a magnifying glass. And I don't need that digitally. I can just zoom in. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I can get way more comfortable with the digital inking, or I've become way more comfortable with digital inking. Still don't like it at all. But this is becoming my preferred way to do this treacherous task. He did. It's always fun having an extra person to talk to, you know, live and in person. I moved something. No, I didn't. Okay. Let's be here. Here. What music do we listen to on stream? It's it's a playlist called 100 Thieves Hype Tracks. Sometimes I put on synthware because I'm in that kind of mood. And other times I've played like a dubstep thing in there, trying to keep the music a little bit lively. It's on Spotify. That is crooked. I know you said time was up, but I need to at least make this straight line. See, and this just does not look right at all. That's wrapping around. But then it has to be lower or higher. Like it has to be lower or higher, one or the other. See? Doing it this way allows you to make these mistakes and quickly, I do mean quickly, fix them up. Alright, I'm going to just fix this real quick. And we will be good. Sweet. Sweet. And it's royalty free. It is royalty free. It is from Harris Heller. HARRISHELLER. Harris Heller. All right. Well, thank you all for coming to my talk stream today. As we were doing mostly chill and chat with Single Digit. Thank you all for chiming in every now and then. And look, see, we still got some inks going, right? You should do more of them. Yeah, they were fun. I mean, gotta get more people. Probably just need them to call into Discord or something like that. We'll figure it out. But that was fun. But we got, still got some inks done, close to it. So it's good. It's good times. So Mr. Inker, oh my goodness, don't. For shame. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully I'll start off with more energy so that way we can. I think we need to get back to finishing pages. So otherwise Awesome Con will come and leave and I won't have it done, and that will be a shame. So we're gonna start cranking them out. So you guys have a good night. We're just gonna go to bed. I can't raid anyone right now. So we're gonna pick it up tomorrow, and then maybe we'll raid someone tomorrow then. All right. But tonight, thank you all so very much. You are absolutely awesome. And remember, born a ninja, die a ninja. And I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. All right. See you later.
The Ninja Empire is supreme, dominant, and unstoppable. Our ninja spirit is fueled by fire and driven by razor-sharp determination. When we take on a mission, we must succeed or die. Our style is unique and deadly, and no one wants to suffer the wrath of the Ninja Empire.